Today what I'd like to do is just spend a few minutes talking to you about how it can be very quick and very simple to create screencasts with an iPad. So specifically I'd like to kind of talk to you about where I started on this process this summer, what one might need besides I guess an iPad, how I utilized these in my courses this past fall, and then we'll finish by creating one. So a little bit of background here. So this all started this past summer when I was working on an NSF STEP grant in the College of EMS, and the idea was to put together some resources for our calculus students so they could be as successful as possible in their courses. We had some handouts for them, but we also wanted to create some videos. And we had an idea in mind kind of what we were looking for. We wanted to create videos like we'd seen online at a place called the Khan Academy. And these videos at the Khan Academy took on a very nice form. What they would do is capture the screen, writing on the screen, and the audio. There's no distractions on there like, say, a person. And at the time, it seemed like an extremely daunting task to create these screencasts. But now looking back, I realized, it's almost embarrassingly simple to create these, as long as you have the right tools. So to start off with, what we did is we kind of reached out and we met with Media Tech Services, Teaching Technology Center to kind of explore, what things are already available here at UW-Platteville. And there's a bunch of different options. What I'm going to talk about here today is just one option that I found to be very quick, very effective. For example, the Khan Academy videos are made on a special tablet called a Wacom tablet. And this past summer, Media Tech Services had just recently acquired a brand new 13-inch Wacom tablet, and they installed it in my office. They let me play around with it for a few weeks. And all of the other methods I explored just seemed kind of limiting to me for whatever sense. And the Wacom tablet is an auxiliary tablet you hook up to your computer, so it's limited by the capabilities of your computer, whatever programs you have there. And this, what I was really looking for, to be honest, is what is the quickest, what is the easiest way to create these videos? And for me, the quickest, the easiest way to create these videos was to use an iPad. So, what do you need? You need an iPad, first of all. I think many people have iPads these days, and I'm sure other tablets, if you can get apps, you could do something similar. Probably a nicer stylus would be a good thing. I have a Donut Jot Pro. I think you can get them at Best Buy. I purchased one on Amazon. It was somewhere in the neighborhood of $20-ish. And then there's a whole bunch of different apps that are available to help you create these screencasts. And I played around with some of the free apps, and for whatever reason, I found this app Explain Everything to be the best for what I was looking for. It's $3.99, and it is extremely simple to use here. You can import into it, at least from my limited viewpoint, almost any type of file I want it to. For me, it was typically just a PDF or an image. Once you have it in there, you can write on it all kinds of different colors, laser pointers. You can shrink things down, expand things out. And then you can export in a whole bunch of different formats. And what we wanted to do was export in a format where you could put it up on, say, YouTube, put it in My Media so your students can watch it on D2L. And you can export as an MP4 file, which is exactly what you need. In terms of the logistics, which can be maybe a touch annoying since you're dealing with an iPad, I just use Dropbox. So in terms of the process that I would go through, I'd be sitting at my office, I'd have my computer and my iPad next to me. On my office computer, I could very easily create a PDF file. I would take the PDF file, put it in the Dropbox on my office computer. So you do want the internet connectivity, which isn't a problem on campus. So then on my iPad, I could go to this Explain Everything app, open up the PDF file in there, create the screencast that I wanted to create, and then export it in that desired form, put it into the Dropbox, open it up on my computer. Now, kind of the time-consuming portion of this is when the Explain Everything app converts it into the MP4 format. And I think you probably have this on any program. A 5-minute video might take 13, 14 minutes to convert. But the nice thing is you can create a whole bunch of these at once you don't have to sit there and do nothing while they're converting. Once you have a whole bunch of them created, I could be sitting there grading and then every once in a while reach over and push the button to tell it to convert it to an MP4 for me. In terms of how I've utilized these in my courses, so I started this past summer making these as part of this grant with a colleague in the math department, and so I used them in my courses this fall as well, mainly in a course I teach called Differential Equations. I had 3 sections of it this past semester, and 3 main ways that I utilize these screencasts to supplement in-class materials. And in terms of supplementing in-class materials, it was typically providing an extra example of some key important topics. Or in math classes, it can be very common that you have some formula you want to get to so you can use it. Sometimes it's very important to show that theory, go through all of the theory. Other times it's not as important. And I could save sometimes 7, 8, 10 minutes of class time by creating a little video of the theory, posting it online, and then letting the students who are really interested in seeing why that formula works watch it. I found these videos extremely useful for making exam reviews, where I could make short videos covering kind of key topics on the exams. So for example, in this differential equations course, the first part of the semester covers solving first order differential equations. There's 5 types, and so I made 5 short videos, each one of them somewhere in the neighborhood 4 to maybe 6 minutes in length. And on each of those videos, I covered one type, what it looks like, how you solve it, simple example. And typically before this first exam, I'll have a big rush of students coming to my office. Dr. Frayer, I don't know how to solve a Bernoulli differential equation. I don't know how to recognize a separable differential equation. And I had way less of those students stopping by. And my response to them was, well, did you watch those videos that I sent out to you? And they said, no. I said, okay, how about you go and watch those videos? And then if you have questions, definitely come back and let me know. And the response that I heard back from many of them was, that was really, really helpful. I now know how to do this. And then additionally, I found these really useful for providing solutions. So in the past, when I've had homework problems or exam problems that a large chunk of the class struggled with, I found it really easy just to type up a solution, post it on D2L. But there are certain things that are so much easier to get across when you're just having a conversation or making a video, in terms of things like intuition, talking very quickly about, this is a common mistake and this is why it doesn't work. And so I found making these short videos to be, much more effective in terms of getting across, kind of the intuition involved in these problems. And just this past week, I read my evaluations for the semester. In the math department, they're all short response. And one spot on there is for additional comments. And there are quite a few of my differential equation students that mentioned that they really appreciated the videos. They found them extremely helpful. So in terms of what these look like, I'm sure we've all probably seen them. But here's one that was created as part of this grant project. And I specifically picked one where I wasn't talking because I would have found that a bit awkward. Notice you can hear the stylist on the screen. For some people that might be an issue. You can go into something like Camtasia and you can edit out things like that. But to be honest, we didn't really care that much about it. We want it quick and simple.
If the limit
All right.
as x goes to a of f of x is equal to f of a.
All right, so hopefully that gives you an idea of kind of what they look like. And I just wanted to illustrate how quick and how simple these really are to create. And hopefully we can see this up here. I know it's not the best. But in the iPad, I just go to my Explain Everything app and kind of click on the button. And typically I would go to, there would be a different screen here first that I would go to upload the PDF file that you're seeing. But I wanted to make sure there wasn't any issues with the internet in terms of getting it from Dropbox or something, so I just have it uploaded here. And once you have it, it's kind of hard to see all of the, there's little icons on the left here. You can shrink things down, expand things out, click on kind of the color ink you want. You can go and change the colors that show up there. But, it's really easy. There's this little red button down here on the bottom. You push that to get started. Oh. So now the video is going. So in this video, we would like to determine what is the derivative of x squared. So recall from class that the power rule tells us that the derivative of x to the n is equal to nx to the n minus 1, where n is any number that you would like. So for our example here, since we want to differentiate x squared, we can see the connection that n is 2. So the derivative would be the 2 comes down front. The new power of x is 1 less than the original. So the derivative is 2x. And then when you're done, you can just hit the same button that you used to start it, and it will stop. And I should move that up a little bit. Now, the exporting part is the costly part time-wise. So you can actually hit the play button here and listen to it and see that everything looks right. Determine what is the derivative before you export it. And to export, there's kind of just a little export button down here. And when you go to export the video, you can see, well, you can do it as a video, a PDF, an image. There's a whole bunch of different places that you can export to. If I didn't have internet, I would export it to the camera roll. With internet, I would just go ahead and upload it right to the Dropbox. So hopefully that illustrates, how quick and how easy it can be. I think the hardest part is just having an iPad to get started with, and then once you have that iPad, it's very quick, very easy, at least from my perspective, in terms of creating these screencasts. So,
Did you ever do anything where you had the equations already written out and you were just explaining them and like pointing to them?
Oh, absolutely. And you can do, there's a little laser pointer feature, which makes that nice. So, I mean, one of the hard things is the writing on it, as you just very clearly saw. And that's because I usually have it tilted up so I can write at a better angle. But it took me a little while to get better at the writing, and better is, I think, a bit subjective here. But yeah, there's a little laser pointer, so oftentimes if I had, kind of a theorem, or if I had a bunch of equations to go over, I could just kind of point as I discussed.
Right.
And you can also do it on just a blank white screen. You don't need to have a PDF or an image or anything, and go from there.
Any questions? About the pen that you used,
Yeah.
so is that the special one?
I don't think it's a little bit nicer, I guess. John looks like he might have an example there. I just typed stylist into Amazon, and it's one with a little clear disc on it. I don't know if that one has a clear disc, and I found the one that seemed like kind of the best deal. It was a Jot Pro Adonit, about $20-ish or so. It takes a few minutes to get used to writing on it with the screen, but just like anything, once you get it, you usually have it.
It's the clear disc on it that makes it, I mean, like my first one I got, I said, what's this? And I ended up pulling the disc.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not, I learned technology along with everyone else. But it's that disc that makes it move nicely, so.
Yeah.
Any other, we'll get Catherine ready and.
Yeah, Mohammed?
questions.
So how much it gonna cost total? Like software plus iPad plus pen, everything including.
Oh gosh, I have no idea. So the iPad these days is what, $200 maybe?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I felt like I got a good deal. I don't know. I bought it earlier this summer. So say the stylist is $20, the app is $4. So
$4.
so basically whatever the iPad costs plus
Okay.
$25 plus our time, which, well, we don't get paid much for our time anyhow. So
And you can check out an iPad from the help desk.
yeah. And in terms of how much
Oh, okay.
time it takes to create one of these videos, if the video itself is say 4 to 5 minutes, and I do it in one take, and usually, you've probably noticed a theme here. I'm going for quick, I'm going for simple. And I'm not worrying too much about these higher end tweaks, just quick, simple, hopefully effective. If it's a 4 to 5 minute video, I do it in one take, the whole process, maybe 15 minutes.
So is there any place you can get help, how to be familiar, how to use it, and how to download, those kind of
So
things,
that's-
help center?
That's where the Teaching Technology Center and Media Technology Services come in. Teaching Technology Center could be your first contact, and then if it's something that's, that MTS can better serve you with, we'll go that route. But Regina Nelson, Teaching Technology Center, 1792 on campus, over in the tower.
Okay,
So yes, the answer is yes, and I'm the person.
okay, thank you.